In Hawkins Falls, people say,
if you can make a first impression last, you've made a friendship.
Hawkins Falls, a television novel that tells the story of life in small-town USA. Hawkins Falls is brought to you today by NBC.
I see. Well, Mrs. Denslow, I'll stop by and see him in about an hour. Now, don't you worry. I'm sure it's nothing serious. Oh, I never want you to feel that way. You call me whenever there's any doubt. Right. I'll see you in a little while. And tell David he'll be okay to go to the ball game. That's a promise. Right. Thank you.
You didn't finish your eggs.
Oh, somehow I didn't feel hungry. Hey. A new dress?
Wondered when you'd get around to noticing it.
Oh?
It was even newer when I wore it for the first time on Saturday.
I'm sorry.
Don't be. At least you did notice it, and that's a very good sign.
But I still love you.
Oh, I'm pretty convinced of that at this moment. No, I mean it's a good sign because it shows you're not worried. I found that whenever you notice what I'm wearing, it means your world is pretty cheerful.
It sure is.
Hey, it's 9:15.
Well, now, this is what I call a real fine friend. He comes barging in here first thing in the morning to keep me posted on the time.
Yeah, but we've only got 45 minutes.
Darling, how about a cup of coffee for him? Obviously, he needs something to settle him down.
Bring it right in, Midge.
Look, Floyd, aren't you interested in stopping Andy?
From jumping off a building with an umbrella? No, because he isn't going to do it.
You heard him last night. He promised to do it at 10 o'clock, and I think he intends to.
But I don't.
Well, it's a heck of a thing to take a chance on, don't you think? How do you know he's not?
Here you are, Midge. Could I make you some toast? Only take a minute.
Lona, what'd you feed him for breakfast?
Well, not very much. He wasn't hungry. You know, he does that sometimes. Says he only wants a light breakfast. Then after he gets down to the office, he suddenly discovers he's hungry. Do you suppose that could be a reflection on my cooking?
Look, I don't get this. You were burning up at me all this week because I convinced Andy that he's psychic. Now, when he's going to jump off a roof to prove that he can see into the future, you sit here calm and unconcerned.
He won't do it, Mitch.
Well, don't you think it's kind of a silly thing to take a chance on? I don't get it. You went with me last night to talk to him. You heard him say that he intends to do it with your own ears.
I heard it with my ears and a lot more. Surely you can see what's happening.
Certainly I can. A guy's going to kill himself.
Come on. If you're going back to the newspaper office, I'll drop you off. Bye, dear.
Bye.
Look, will you please be reasonable?
I am being reasonable now. Come on.
But listen, Floyd, you don't understand. This guy is going to...
just...
4321, please.
Lona?
Oh, never mind, operator. I was just phoning you.
Andy really intends to go through with it. Mitch Fredericks was talking to him a few minutes ago, and he's completely determined to do as he threatened.
I know. Mitch just left here with Floyd.
You mean to stop him?
No, Floyd says it won't happen. In fact, he's sure of it.
You mean because there are police around the building to stop him?
No, Floyd thinks that's exactly what Andy wants. But if nobody takes him seriously or pays any attention to the whole thing, Andy won't even attempt it.
Hello?
There he is now. He said he was going to stop here on his way downtown.
In the living room, Andy.
Lona, wait till you see him. He's actually dressed for the part.
Oh, good morning.
Morning, Andy.
You coming downtown to watch me do it?
Well, I'm afraid I can't, Andy. I have an awful lot of things to do today.
You and your husband must think I'm a little child.
Oh, not at all.
I know what's going on. Last night, your husband came over to talk to me. Pretended he didn't believe I would do it. Child psychology. Like ignoring a bad little boy. Well, you're both going to be surprised how wrong you both are. I'm going to jump off that roof and walk away completely unharmed. It's going to happen just like in my vision of the future.
I see. Millie, would you like some coffee? All right. Andy, how about you?
I've had my breakfast, thank you. It won't work, Millie. She and her husband think that I'll forget this whole idea if they just ignore me.
Andy, please. All I know is that you must not go through with it.
Millie, I appreciate your concern for me, but there's no need to have any. I know exactly what I'm doing, And I certainly have no intention of harming myself.
Then you don't think that jumping from 2 stories down to the sidewalk can be harmless?
I told you, I know how it's going to come out. I can see these things.
Oh, Andy, for goodness
Millie.
sake.
Millie, I'm both flattered and hurt by your attitude. I'm flattered that you have a concern for my welfare, but I'm hurt that you don't believe in me. Lona, why don't you come downtown in about a half an hour? Be a big crowd there, and you can get a good spot to see everything. I intend to jump at 10 o'clock sharp.
Well, I'll try to make it, Andy, but I'm afraid I won't be able to.
But you'll be there, won't you, Millie?
I don't know.
Very well. Very well. But there's certainly going to be some red faces around this town after I prove my point. But if you don't see it, you're going to hear a lot about it.
This could be awful.
I think Floyd has the right idea.
I hope so.
And he's really a sensible man. But first he was made to believe that he's psychic, and then he was told that it was all a publicity stunt. Well, in his own mind, he feels he's been made a fool of, and he doesn't quite know how to get out of it. He's gone way out on a limb in making this last prediction, and the worst thing any of us could do is push him into seeing it through.
Is that the way Floyd sizes up the situation?
Mm-hmm.
I hope he's right. I sure do hope he's right.
Floyd, will you be reasonable?
I am trying to be.
What in tarnation is going on out there? If this town were going to have a parade, you'd think someone would tell me about it beforehand.
Judge, would you like to save a man's life?
What are you talking about?
Andy Anderson is going to jump off the roof of that building over there. Have the police arrest him and hold him on some charge or another.
What?
Judge, it isn't as serious as all that.
I'm trying to tell you it is.
Anderson is really going to attempt to kill himself?
That's right.
Oh. Hello? Give me the marshal's office.
Now, wait a minute, Judge.
Well, if Andy's going to...
Just hold it, please.
If this was intended as a joke, I'm disappointed in you, Mitch. Suicide isn't at all funny.
Look, do I look like I'm laughing? Andy said he saw himself in a dream jump off that building and walk away completely unharmed, so he's going to do it this morning just to prove to everybody he is psychic.
I see. Well, I hope you are satisfied. You are the one who convinced him that he was psychic. Quite a publicity stunt.
Well, I admit I was wrong, but that's not the point.
It's more than the point. It's the crux of the entire matter. What's gotten into you, Mitch? You used to run an honest newspaper.
Well, I only did this to get publicity for the Hawkins Falls Fair.
We don't need publicity where a man is going to take his own life.
Well, I didn't know it'd get this far.
Exactly how far did you think it would get? You take a man connived to make everything he says come true, and what do you expect?
Now, Judge, Mitch, just hold it, please.
I'm warning you, Mitch. If this man tries to go through with this, you are the one who'll face the charges.
Now, just a minute, Judge. I think you should call the marshal, but only to have him disperse the spectators in the street. Because if they're standing around, Andy may feel that he has to go through with this, although I seriously doubt that he would. But just to be on the safe side, let's disperse the spectators.
Very well. Let me have the marshal, please. Well,
You really don't think he's going to do this?
I really don't. When we talked to him last night, you must have been able to see how he really felt.
All I could see was this monster I'd created. I could see everything snapping back at me.
Listen, you've got something more concrete to worry about. The story this Miss Hendricks is trying to do on you. Now, why don't you be smart? Take this woman to lunch. Make a friend out of her.
All I can see is Andy jumping off that building.
Listen, why don't
Good
you...
morning, gentlemen.
Well, what are you dressed for?
Well, obviously not for a formal evening at the theater. Oh, you gentlemen going to watch from this window here? Well, you can see very well from here.
do you realize that it's almost 30 feet from the roof of that building to the pavement below?
Just about.
And you foresaw this entire event?
Oh, I saw the whole thing.
I see. Well, Floyd, I've settled that little matter.
Okay, thanks, Judge. I'll see you later.
Anything else I can do?
No, just leave the rest to me, please.
You know what you're doing?
I believe so.
Very well. Mitch, I want to have a talk with you when you have a moment.
Mitch, why don't you run along with the judge now? I want to talk to Andy a moment.
Well, yeah, but
It
Floyd...
won't do a bit of good, Doctor. You can't get me to change my mind.
Take him along with you, Judge. I'll see you both later.
Very well, come on,
Look,
Mitch.
I can't leave until this thing is settled.
It seems to me you've done quite enough already. Come on, Mitch.
Yep. 9:45. I have to be getting over there soon.
Andy, come here. Look.
Oh, what are the police doing down there? They're breaking up the crowd.
Andy, I can't tell you how sorry I am all this happened. You've been the victim of a hoax, and you're the one who's been the most fooled.
You told me all this last night. It doesn't sound any better today.
You were being given an out, Andy. The street is being cleared of spectators. Mitch is going to make an admission of his part in all this in the paper today. He's going to take the full blame. So you will be in the clear.
You still don't believe that I foresaw this whole event, do you?
You might have had a dream about it. As a matter of fact, you probably did. But don't try and tell me it was psychic phenomena, because I don't believe it. And deep down, I know that you don't.
Doctor, do you think I'd take a chance on doing a thing like this if I weren't absolutely sure?
Now, let me tell you something.
No, don't bother. It's getting close to 10.
Okay. If you're determined to go up on that roof, let's go.
Oh, well, I'm going alone. If you intend to forcibly hold me back,
Don't worry, I won't. But there won't be any spectators below. So how are you, unless you have somebody come along as a witness, how are you ever going to prove your point?
Well, you promise you won't try any tricks.
I promise. You ready?
Yes, I guess I'm ready. Looks a little high from here. Well?
Kitchens in Hawkins Falls are by General Electric. In Hawkins Falls, Lona Corey is Bernardine Flynn. Dr. Corey is Maurice Copeland. Mitch Fredericks is Jim Bannon. Millie Flagle is Roz Toohey. Judge Sharp is Philip Lord. And Andy Anderson is Arthur Peterson. Your announcer is Wed Howard. We take you to Hawkins Falls each day, Monday through Friday at this same time. Come with us tomorrow, won't you? Hawkins Falls is created by Doug Johnson, written by Bill Barrett, directed today by Alan Beaumont, and produced by Ben Park. This program comes to you from Hawkins Falls by way of Chicago.